something like that happens. Joining me right now, New York Congressman Peter King. It's kind of strange to me, Peter, that it becomes a big deal anyway. Do you classify it as terrorism? Of course it's terrorism.
Yeah, to me it was definitely terrorism from the start. I guess maybe there could have been some question about whether it came under the statute legally, but the Attorney General made it clear that it does. So certainly, you're both in the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. This is terrorism. We have to realize that's what it is. Your violence being used for political purpose, that's terrorism.
Congressman, why is this happening now? I mean, I was citing earlier what Clarence Thomas had said back in 1994, and he basically was talking about this politics of division and how identity politics, even back then, was increasingly playing a role in our society, in part because of all of this redistricting, where various municipalities and counties are redistrict in such a way that you have one race in one place and one race in another, and doesn't that actually contribute to basically what some of these politicians are trying to do, which is use these races against each other?
Yeah, listen, I think that is definitely a part of the reason for it. I mean, if you take Congress, the way the lines are drawn in a number of states, African-American politicians really don't have to deal with any large number of white voters. And quite frankly, white politicians don't have to deal with any significant number of African-Americans. So basically, you have people living in Congress, voting in Congress from two parallel universes. There's only really a very small number of districts in the country that do have any kind of mix, if you will, of voting between African-Americans and whites. So I think this whole idea of redistricting by race is dangerous. Obviously, you want to avoid discrimination, but to actually be creating districts by race, either white or black, and quite frankly, I think has been shown over the years that in many cases, it's white politicians who are getting the benefit of this. So to me, we should go back. We've come a long way in the civil rights movement. I think we should try to go as quickly as we can to
we certainly have come a long way, but then you see this, Congressman, and it really, it really makes you think we're backtracking in some ways instead of moving forward.
No, I'm saying we've come a long way. I'm talking about as far as voting restrictions.
Gotcha.
Right now, to me, again, so unless you can show there's actual voter discrimination or it's being used for racial purposes, I think they should be racially neutral when it comes to drawing districts.
Hey, Congressman, while I have you here, I hear you.
Yeah.
I agree on that. Let me ask you about a new report, and that is that these terror groups, Al-Qaeda specifically, is calling on its followers to attack American trains and American railways. The terrorist group just putting out some publication there where they were urging their followers to carry out these attacks, targeting means of transportation. Given your position, obviously, here in New York, what can you tell us about this, and what is being done to protect these soft targets like trains?
Well, without commenting on the specific of this report, which I'm aware of, we have been concerned for a number of years regarding transportation security, particularly with trains, because they are much more vulnerable. In many ways, airports are very easy to secure in comparison to train stations. You have, like in New York City alone, we have millions of people every day getting on and off the subways. They can't be checked out. We have over 1,000 train stations. In addition to that, you have commuter lines coming from Westchester County and Long Island, New Jersey, coming in. All I can tell you is I can't give anything up, but we are doing everything that can be done. There is various monitoring that goes on, various security measures, but this is not a surprise to anyone who's in the Homeland Security or counterterrorism business. We know that these are prime targets, and we have, for a number of years, almost going back to 2001, doing all we can to safeguard them, to protect them, and to guard against these threats. But they are very, very real threats, whether we're talking about actual attacks on the trains themselves, on the passengers, or as far as putting obstructions on the tracks, in the tunnels, that type of thing. This just shows that, and the only real answer to this, though, Trish, we can have all the safety precautions in place as possible and all the anti-terror precautions. The only real way to stop it is through intelligence, finding out about it before they can begin to plan it or to carry it out. If they arrive at a station with explosive, or if they're able to get access to the tracks of the tunnel, odds are with them. That's why it's important that we have intelligence to stop them before they get there, and that requires active surveillance.
Absolutely. All right, Congressman, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you, Trish, always. Thank you.